Hey everybody, welcome to Fab Fit Friday. Today is going to be a, I guess directly related to fitting. I'm taking a little break from my embroidered jeans because they fit, but now they feel like a torture chamber when I'm wearing them. I posted some pictures of my fitted jeans on my DittoForm in my J Stern Designs Fit Sew and Embroider group. So if you'd like to see them on here, so you can see how the waist fits, please go over there to my Facebook group and check that out. I took it off because I really need to make a cover for my DittoForm, so I thought I would give myself a step back from the embroidery project, and then I'll work on this today, and then I'll regroup on that, my embroidery next week. But let me just show you the reason why we needed to start working on a DittoForm. Hi Diane. Diane, it's just you and me, I think. Thank you for joining me last night for the rub-off class. I hope you enjoyed it. All right, so let me just switch my view here. All right, so I want to show you. I'm going to make my view a little bigger here. Here is the challenge that I'm currently having with my DittoForm. Hi Andrea, welcome. I had this on. These are my jeans that I'm working on, and you can see they're speckled with white pieces of foam because my DittoForm doesn't have a cover, and the foam has been shaved down to fit me, so there's little pieces of foam everywhere. And actually, look at this. I'm gonna have to take this out and shake it when I get off. This is what I had on my DittoForm when I was working with Carol to get the fit right. But you can see all of this foam really needs to be covered. So let me show you what I've been working on. Oh, Diane said, oh, you enjoyed the rub-off class. Oh, thank you. Happy Friday, Sally. Sally, thank you for joining me for the rub-off class. I hope you enjoyed it. All right, so this is my reason for skipping over to the DittoForm and making a cover, because I'm getting little pieces of foam everywhere, and I've been vacuuming every day. It seems to be shedding like a banshee. So this is going to be getting shook outside and washed. And here are my jeans, and I think everybody here is in my group, my Facebook group. I had this on my DittoForm, and my DittoForm is almost identical to my shape, so it's really kind of cool to be able to put this on here to see what it's doing. So for now, I'm going to put these away. The short story is, after embroidering and getting this to fit the jeans, the bottoms of the legs. Let me just make it a little bit brighter so you can see here. You can see all the foam. These do fit, but this is now so firm, I feel like I'm wearing a torture chamber. So I probably will never wear these, but I think I will finish them because they'll make a really pretty sample. And then I think for real deal wearable embroidered jeans, I'm going to move the embroidery down lower. So I think the yoke needs to just be fabric. That's what I've come to discover or decide after this odyssey of machine embroidery that's been one disaster after another. But basically, that's where I am on this. I really do like my little embroidered belt loops. But the other thing I was thinking about these is, I think, having them stop here is okay. I mean, that works. But I almost think for the final deal and for the real pattern, I think I might have them just extend all the way down into the seam here too, and then just tack it where I want it to stop and be an actual belt loop. So it'll be sewn down here, but then there'll be the belt loop here. So I think that's what I'm going to do for this, for my final deal, is extend these so they catch in both the top and the bottom of the waist yoke. And then, we can tack them to limit the belt loop to be the width that we want for a belt. So that's what I'm going to do for that. I have installed the two snaps here. Okay, so these are going to snap, and then there's going to be 3 buttons up here to finish it. Okay, and I didn't get to that yet, but that's where we are on that. And you know, even though this has been kind of a pain in my butt and I've been going back and forth on some things, I really think this has been good pattern development in terms of exactly what it's going to look like for the pattern that I'm going to, you know, finally put together and then sell. So I'm very happy with the size of the front pocket openings now. I think there's enough space. And you can see I did do a half fly here. Okay, so I stitched in my half fly, and I think that that's kind of a cool look. Even, you know, this is embroidered, so if the embroidery wasn't here, I would have the fly go all the way up to the top. You know, I'd stitch all the way to the top. But anyway, so that's where this is. I'm going to take a break on it for now, and I'm going to switch to my big view so I can show you my DittoForm and what we're going to be doing with that. All right, Sally says, oh, hi Mary, welcome. Sally says, it was a great class. I have a tunic and I'm really interested in complicated curved front gathers that I'd like to make a pattern for. That was the example I was keeping in mind during class. All right, well, Sally, if you get stuck, or maybe post some pictures of it in our group, our Facebook group, and then I can help you figure out how we're going to capture those gathers in the rub off. So definitely keep me posted on that. All right, so I'm going to put this away for now. All right, so here's my DittoForm. Now, if you purchase a DittoForm, it comes with a knit cover on it, and I will tell you that I thought it was going to be like super easy to make a exact replica of the kind of cover that came with it, but I ended up having to, I mean, it's really unsightly underneath the butt and in there to get it to cover the legs. And then up at the top, I just pinned the whole top opening for now. I think what I might do, I really want to protect the foam itself, so I think I am going to leave this gray fabric on because it really doesn't add any, you know, any measurement to, you know, to the DittoForm. But what I'm going to do is I have this 1/4 inch black twill tape that I'm going to use to establish all of my lines, and looking at it on camera, it looks like it's a little bit crooked because what I did was I pinned here and I pinned here. I'm not going to pin straight through the bust because I'm never going to wear something that's that form fitted. Okay, I'm a sports bra kind of girl, so there's always air between like my bra and, you know, my shape. So I'm going to leave this here where it could, you know, it could be pushed in here. I'm going to leave that there because that's going to make a better, you know, truer shape to my shape when I'm using it to drape tops. So what I've done so far is I've done my center front, and to get this I did several measurements. I measured from the tip of my shoulder in both directions. It's 10 inches both ways from left to right, you know, to center. And then I also measured, I have pins here, you can't see them, but there's a pin here and a pin here where my apex is. I have a 9-inch span between my apex, so I also measured between there to get that right. And then in the back I did the same thing. I actually took one piece of tape and I started here and I put it right through around to the front. So I've got my center, front, and back done. And then I did my waist. Now for me, my belly button is right here. So my natural waist is about 1 inch above the belly button where I wear my pants. So I measured from here to the floor at center front, side, and center back. So this line is parallel to the floor. And then I also marked my empire waist because that's a very popular style line for me. I think it's very flattering to, you know, if you have something that's fitted here and then it starts to flare, it makes camouflage for the belly that I still have. Okay, so I'm really, really happy with this, with my form now, because it really is so much closer to my shape. One of the things that I want to mark is I want to mark my armhole. I'm going to mark around the neck, and then after I get that done, I'm also going to mark the princess seam line and my side seams. Now my side seams, I was hoping I could use the seam from the cover, and maybe I can, but it's doing like a funny jogging thing here. So like maybe I can, you know, get that to work. You know, if I can use the seam in the, you know, in the fabric, then I won't have to put tape there. You know, because I also have it over here, and I think I can probably get that to look straight, in terms of, you know, using it as my side seam. But anyway, so that's how she looks now with a cover, and I'm already happier because I don't have foam all over the place. The foam is now trapped. Let me just see here. Hi Jerry, welcome. Happy Friday fun. Oh, Jerry wishes everybody's safe and well. Thank you, Jerry. I hope you are as well. And Mary says, what is along the shoulder seam line on the DittoForm? Okay, so this up here is where I just pinned the two pieces of fabric together. So if I decide to keep this underneath my non-stretch cover that I'm going to drape, then I'm going to hand stitch this shut. But for now, I just left it pinned. So really, this is just fabric I need to, you know, turn under and hand stitch, because I sewed the bottom. The only way I could get it on was to get it on. I sewed up the bottom, you know, so the legs are covered under here, and then I had the opening up here. So basically what I did was I just pinned it for now. And really, I mean, I could leave it with just the gray, but I really feel like because there is not a collapsible shoulder, and if you look at me, I'm like a linebacker, you know, between here and here is 20 inches. So to be able to get things on and off, I have that flannel back satin. Okay, and I just got this at Joann's. And the reason why, let me show you. All right, let me make this a little bit darker. Okay, so this is what it looks like, and I think it's going to be really easy to work with because it's flannel on the inside and it's satin on the outside, so the outside of it will then be slippery, and I think I'll be able to get things on and off it easier because I don't want to have to pull fabric, you know, across this knit, which isn't as slippery as something like this. Plus, if I mark all my seam lines on my DittoForm, drape the pieces, then I'll have all of the stitch style lines that I can then reapply this black tape to. So I think that's what I'm gonna do, is make a non-stretch cover for it. So this gray will be I'll either take the gray off, or I'm thinking maybe I'll even leave it underneath this flannel back satin. So that's my plan for my DittoForm. And basically now I am going to just continue to work with this. So, you know, to show you what I'm going to be doing here. The one thing I want to point out is you want to use pins that are flat head steel pins that do not bend, because when you're putting the pins into the DittoForm, you know, the thinner glass head or dressmaker pins or silk pins are going to bend. So you need something that's pretty secure. So I'm using these, let me show you. So you can see these pins are just very short. They're about, I think they're an inch, and they're heavy, and they're not going to stretch. So that's what I'm using for pins. Oh, Mary says my biological mother used to love to make PJs from that type of fabric. Well, you know what, Mary? Speaking of mothers, I think I'm going to be making a nightgown for my mother out of some of that, because my dad has to sort of shift her around sometimes in bed, and he bought a like a sheet insert that has a satin strip down the middle, and then towards the edges it's regular like cotton sateen. So that's kind of slippery, but like her warm cuddly nightgowns are very hard to move her around. So I was actually thinking I would make her a, you know, a nightgown out of this. I haven't washed this yet, and I got this at Joann's because I just wanted to get going on it. So I'm gonna wash it and see how soft and cuddly the flannel side is, and if it's nice after I wash it, I think I'm gonna go get a different color and make my mom a nightgown out of that. So that's another thing I might be doing with this kind of fabric. All right, so I think the first thing I'm gonna do, in addition to what I already have here, is I am going to let me see. I'm gonna mark. No. All right. So my span goes from here to here. I don't think I'm gonna put. I don't think I'm gonna put any there because I have that issue of that bridge. I don't wanna. You know, I don't wanna put a lot of stuff there. So I think I'm gonna forego that. But I am gonna go around the neck. Okay, because I want to be able to do my neck. So I'm just going to show you here what I'm doing. So I'm going to start at my center front, and I'm just gonna wrap it around so I can cut it to size. Okay, that's good. All right, so now I'm just gonna get this to be at the base of my neck. And I'm just going to go around the neck here. I might have to play with the neck because it doesn't have a definite, you know, base to it, but basically I just want to get the neck all right, and then I'm just going to come back around this way. All right, so I've got my neck, and then I'm going to use the pins that I have positioned at my apex. I'm going to use those as guides to do my princess seams. Okay, so I've got my neck done. All right, so I like my princess seam to be, I don't like it to go right over my actual apex. I like it to be a little bit, you know, a little bit to the side of my apex. So I think I'm going to do it so it runs maybe between a ½ inch and 3/4 of an inch away from my actual apex. And before I do that, the other thing I want to just mark is my armhole, because that's going to then show me what my shoulder is. So I'm going to come up to the tip of my shoulder here. And I think to get a good, where did I do with my tape measure. All right, so to get a good guide for that, I am just going to use the screen, and I'm just going to feel from the base of my neck to the tip of my shoulder is about 5, let me see, base of my neck to the, yeah, 5 inches. So from the base of my neck to the tip of my shoulder is going to be 5 inches. And that will give me an accurate shoulder. So actually I had that right at 5 inches there. Let me just double check it. Yep, 5 inches. All right, so then I can mark out my armhole here. So I'm just going to come straight down. I'm just going to get my armhole. Like this. And I'm just sinking these pins right into the foam so I can keep this tape secure. Alright, so over here on the side, I am just going to some say to put the princess seam up to 1 inch away from the bust point. That is absolutely true, Mary, up to 1 inch. I'm going to do mine probably 3/4 though, because, well, I don't even know if I have a factual reason for that, but I think I'm going to put it 3/4. Alright, so let me just get the back of my armhole here. I can't begin to tell you how excited I am to actually design something on here. There were things that were not accurate when I first got it that made it hard for me to use it to actually design things, and all of those issues have been fixed. So that's one thing I want to mention. If you decide to ever purchase a DittoForm from Carol, you know, once you have it and you get scanned, if something's not 100% right, she will help you fix it. And in my case, it was right when I got it, but then I very quickly became a different size when the pandemic hit because I started hiking. Wish I could show you a video of me hiking. When I hike, I am really bustling myself around, so my arms are swinging and I'm really moving and shaking, and quite frankly, I think from all of that, you know, from all that arm exercise, I really needed to skinny up my shoulder area. But the bottom line is, Carol is excellent at helping you if your DittoForm isn't, you know, 100% fabulous, which I've talked to a bunch of people who've gotten DittoForms and they have been 100% fabulous. I think I just got scanned at a bad time for me and my weight. All right, so there's my armhole. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm just going to work with half today so I can show you, you know, what I'm going to do after I get that. Now this armhole is my armhole right up into my armpit. Okay, so picture this area would be similar to the metal plate that you would see on a standard dress form. Okay, so that's why I have it snugged right under there. So that's what that represents. All right, so now that I have my shoulder length, I can find the halfway point, and I'm going to run my princess seam from the middle of my shoulder, so 2.5 inches, puts me right there. I'm just going to put a pin. I'm just going to double check it. Yep, 2.5 inches. And then I'm going to run my princess seam. And the way I'm doing this is I'm going to run the same piece of twill tape front and back. So I'm going to dangle it in the back. And I'm just going to work from the shoulder in both directions. And I think that will make it more durable. All right, so I've got it there. So we're going to come down. And just going to put a couple pins in there. Okay, so I'm going to put it right there. Okay, so you can see from the side how that looks, and then from the front it's going to look like that. And if I measure it from my apex, that's, well, from the outside of the tape it's 1 inch, from the inside of the tape it's 3/4. So I think that's a safe place to put it. Just pin that. One thing that I started working on, and then it kind of went south, was I really like a wrapped top, and maybe with an empire waist design. And I'm really, really excited to work on that on my DittoForm. Okay, so after we get it through the apex, I'm just going to come straight down like this. That's how it's going to look on the side. Okay. And that's how it's going to look in the front. All right, and then, oops. And then after I do that, I'm just going to, let's see here. I think I'll just run it all the way down my leg, just so I have it, I think. You know, if I wanted to do a torso shaped sloper on here, or something that's shaped past my thing. Or maybe, all right, so you know what I'm going to do? I am going to, just going to trim this right here. I'm going to actually do one more horizontal. I think I'm going to do my, I want to do that. Just trying to think if I would ever use my crotch level. I'm going to do my crotch level as well, and then I can use that to, you know, do some measuring. Like if I'm working on pants or something, I can use my vertical measurement. So I'm just going to pin this out of the way for a second. Okay, so down here, I am going to just get a piece that's approximately the right length. I'm going to do one down here. So let me just cut this. Alright, so I'm going to start right here, and I'm not going to worry about my crotch level being parallel to the floor, because in the front I'm going to put it where I start to curve. Okay, and then in the back I'm going to move it to the level where I start to curve in the back. And that's just, I'll just have that there if I ever need to have a reference for my, you know, for my pants, or how long my waist is to my crotch level. I think I'm going to have it be right there. Okay, so I'm just going to, and that's where I'll end the princess seam. At crotch level. Alright, so that takes care of having that. Okay, so that's how it's going to look in the back. Alright. Alright, that'll give me a stopping point for my princess seam too. Okay. Alright, so now I can finish this. Alright, so I'm just going to snip this right here. Alright, so there is my princess seam in the front. I think let's do the back. The cool thing about the back is it's already in the position on the shoulder because we're coming around with the same piece of twill tape here. And I'm just going to come, you know, down like this. Now here's the nice thing, these pins are going in really nice and neat on this foam. This foam is really, really pinnable. Okay. Got that. All right, so I think that that's going to be a good place to stop my princess seam. All right. Alright, so now I've got my princess seams done. Okay. Alright. Alright, so I really like the way she's looking now. Right, I think I'm going to put the side seam in. So we're going to start the side seam right here. Going to come straight down. Like this. Come straight down like this. That looks better. All right, so now I think that this side seam is the last seam I'm gonna put on my DittoForm here. All right, so I am really, really excited about this now. All right, so you'll notice, I find this interesting. Let me just show you here. You can see my front princess seam panel. Look how wide that's going to be. Okay, and that's dictated by literally how my cup size and my tummy measurement is creating this large section here that's going to be my, you know, my front princess seam. But then look in the back how narrow the side back princess seam is in comparison. So I think that's just interesting. Like, you can really see your dimensions once you have tape on there. Oh, hi Kay. Kay says, I would want a line at my full hip butt on my body. That would be pretty close to my crotch level. Oh yeah, full hip. Wow, if I put full hip on there too, I'll have 4. But the interesting thing is, on me, this whole area is, I'm willing to bet you, let's do a little experiment here. I can share all my personal body measurements with you. All right, so if I measure my waist, along this tape, it is 39 inches, and my waist is 39 inches, so that works out perfect. Now if I measure, let's measure just in the middle here. Okay, so my full hip is 42 and a half on here. But then if I measure down lower, let's measure at the crotch level. It's 33. So I'm only a half an inch different, you know, but my waist is 39 and then I'm 42 and a half and 43. So, you know, my butt and my belly, I think, proportionally are almost the same curve. It's almost like I have a butt here and a butt here. It's very similar. So that's why I'm not super concerned with my full hip. However, I do think it might be good to put that on there. So I could put one more line. You know, and from my waist on my side seam, my full hip is 5 inches down. So if I measure from my waist 5 inches, oh, Diane says great visual lines. I really do think this 1/4 inch tape really does do a good job of showing you what's going on. All right, so I'm just going to measure. I don't have to measure from my full hip down to the floor this time because I did that when I did my waist. So now I already know my waist is parallel to the floor. So I'm just going to use these little snippets to put them at 5 inches, and then I'll know how to put the tape 5 inches. So like if I measure 5 inches. Oops. I'm going to put this one right here at 5 inches. 5 inches here. I'm just going to put a pin here, 5 inches, to mark it, and then I'll mark 5 inches here. Alright, so now I know I can put one more piece of twill tape. Let me just wrap it around here. Okay, let me just cut it to size, and then I'll wrap that on, and then I'll have all of my guidelines. I'm just going to verify this is still 5 inches. I have to move that down just a skosh. There. Alright, so there's my 5 inches there. And then I can stretch it around to my 5-inch mark over here. And then I can stretch it around to my 5-inch mark over here. Just double check that. Be a little lower. Oh, and this sleeve has to come down a little too. It's screwing me up because my crotch level is not parallel to the floor, and it's screwing with my eye. All right, so I've got 5 there, 5 there. Make sure this is 5. Yep, this one's spot on, 5. Alright, and then we'll just get this to match. Alright, so now I really have all of my guidelines. Okay, there she is, Miss America. All right. Okay, so, okay, Sally says, I can see what a great tool the DittoForm is. I don't think it would work well for me though, because my weight changes so much within a year. I need 3 different forms and 3 different sizes. All right, so here's my thought on the sizing for this DittoForm. I really wanted it to be just a skosh smaller than me, because then, you know, I could pad up if I gain weight. But the cool thing about the DittoForm is you can pad up and you can shave down, but if you're changing sizes 3 different sizes in a year, that's kind of a lot. So I don't know, I'll let you know how it goes, because I'm really hoping to lose more weight in my process of doing hiking and trying to watch what I eat. So I will keep you posted on what happens if I make any more significant you know, weight changes. But the other thing too is, I think you can see, you know, if you look at the traditional dress form, it doesn't have any of this like silhouette. So you can see from this side view, that is me. Like if I stand up, let me just take off my one shirt here. Let me just, because I'm boiling hot anyway. But I just want to show you here, like if I stand behind her, I think you can see that it's a similar thing. Like I've got my belly, you know, she's got her belly. You know, so I really feel like in addition to using this to really make things that fit me, I'm also going to be able to put things on here and see if it's attractive. So that's the other reason why I'm excited to have this. I will tell you, I did cry when it came in the mail because when I opened it up, I thought to myself, oh my God, could that possibly be me? And it was. So sometimes she's hard to look at, but we all have to be gentle with ourselves. So that's, that's where it is. All right, so that's where I think I'm going to leave it for now. I'm going to work on draping it, and I think I'm going to show you the completed cover, because if you want to see how to drape a cover for a DittoForm, I've already done that, and I'm not going to do anything new or different. I'm going to drape it the exact same way. So what I'll do is I will put links to how to drape a non-stretch cover for your DittoForm in the description of this video, so you can see how to do it if you'd like to make a non-stretch cover for either your DittoForm or your dress form. You can make a cover for any dress form. It doesn't have to be a DittoForm. So basically that's what I think I have. I may do, I don't know, I'm still wondering it. Maybe I should do my high bust. I'm going to think about it. But for now, this is what I have. I'm just going to drape one half. So I'm not going to bother putting the princess seams or the side seams on this half because I'm pretty symmetrical. So I'm going to work with this half of my DittoForm to create the non-stretch cover. And once that's done, I will show you, how that came out, when that's finished. And then I'm also going to be finalizing my poppy embroidery designs, and I will have those available to purchase before the end of this month, I'm hoping, or maybe January. I don't want to rush it, but what I'm doing now is I'm creating different combinations of flowers and foliage to give you lots of different design ideas. So I will have poppies available, let's say within a month I'll get that done. And when you purchase the poppy embroidery designs, they will all come with the color templates and the thread chart and all of that other stuff. So that's basically, I'm working on that. I'm going to be working on the jeans. I'm really not sure. I've been working on this so long now, it's almost like I want to, I don't know, I don't want to say barf on it, but I really, it has to be comfortable, right? And it's not. So basically, I'm not going to not finish these, but I might put these on hold and come up with a more flattering / comfortable place to put all of the embroidery. So those are the things I'm going to be working on until they're finished. So I'm going to finish the poppies, I'm going to finish the new jeans pattern, and I'm going to do the cover for the DittoForm. So that's where we are this week. I do want to tell you on Tuesday for Fit Tip Tuesday, I have a very exciting fit tip for you. I worked with somebody from Istanbul actually who had trouble with her coat sleeve. She had too much fabric through here and it was causing it to crumple under her arm, and I suggested making a more well, the sleeve cap was kind of flat, let me put it that way. So we made more of a bell shape vertical sleeve cap, and it fixed it. So I have before and after pictures for that, and I have, I'm going to show you how to fix it. So basically, I'm really excited about Fit Tip Tuesday this week. On Sunday, I have a troubleshooting video for the Brother PRS 100, because during the course of doing all of this embroidery, some things happened, So part of the video would be how to prevent some things from happening, and then part of the video would be, you know, if something happens, this could be why it's happening and how to fix it. So if you guys are into machine embroidery, definitely check out Sunday's embroidery video. That will be up live at noon. And yeah, that's where I am right now. So next week, I have a sincere hope to have my new fully covered in flannel back satin non-stretch cover on my DittoForm, and then I will have more news about the new jeans pattern, depending on what I decide to do with the one I have started. But anyway, so that would be that will be what I'm doing. Oh, Mary says, you have worn stretch pants, leggings for such a long time. Going back to jeans and structured pants is always an adjustment. Give it time. Well, Mary, you know what? Just between you and me, the last time I really developed something so fitted as a jean, I didn't have my belly, you know, and I've been able to fit my existing patterns to fit me, but putting these different design elements, like that yoke for the new pattern, we need that wide yoke to fit the waist because there's no side seam. So I need to have a significant, like 4-inch deep yoke for that. But then that also creates other things, like not embroidering the daylights out of it so it becomes a torture chamber. So you are right. It's been a little frustrating for me, but you know, I don't mind sharing that with you guys. But anyway, so that's my report, and that's everything that's coming up. If you have any questions or comments, you know, please post them below and I will help you. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and I hope you get a little holiday sewing in. I may, at some point between now and the next 2 weeks, I am thinking about like a simple holiday gift idea too. You know, if you need a last minute gift. So it won't be something that takes a lot of time, but I am trying to think of something that could be a kind of a cool last minute holiday gift idea. And it will be my newsletter tutorial. So when my newsletter comes out in the next week or two, there will be a holiday gift idea in there that will be simple and easy and quick to make. So that's another thing I'm working on. But anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you for joining me. As always, I really, really appreciate it. And I will see you again very, very soon. Okay, bye-bye.